What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber, like hashtag just a Diddy Abyss, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at a very fun team for the Love Cup, which got me above 3,300 ELO for Season 10. This team consists of a triple legacy Seaking in the lead, Ariados and Magcargo in the back. Now, when running this team, I did find that I was staying in with Seaking in the majority of lead matchups. The main reason for this is because both Ariados and Magcargo are not the best safe switch options. They get hard countered pretty easily by some specific Pokemon, such as fire types for Ariados and a Pokemon like Alomomola or Medicham for the Magcargo. So for that reason, unless I was seeing an Electrode or a Lickitung in the lead, I was pretty much staying in that lead matchup with Seaking. Even if it was a losing matchup, I could at least Icy Wind, debuff the opponents, and make it somewhat playable for the next Pokemon that comes in. So even though we did do quite well with this team, I would have a hard time recommending it because it still felt like even in the matchups we won, it was very difficult to come back in those battles. And I think on a scale of consistency, it would be a little bit difficult to put together a big streak of wins with this team, at least in this ELO range. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So today's video is going to be a bit of a shorter one than what we're used to on this channel. The main reason for that is the queue times are pretty bad at this point. They're definitely doable, but I just don't have the time available to me to sit in the queues and wait. This one set in particular took 1 hour and 15 minutes, and for only 5 battles, that is a lot of time. So if you guys want to submit battles, I have a link in the description down below. Submit your battles if you want to be featured on the channel. So jumping into battle number 1, we are here just at around 3260 ELO. We have Seaking into Slowbro. This is a pretty good matchup for the Seaking, but we will lose in the 0 shield. So I'm probably going to go for the drill run here the first time. They're unlikely to shield the first one in case it is the Icy Wind debuff, which will be resisted. They let that go through, swap out into the Ariados, and we have a solid answer here in the form of Magcargo. Now, if they have a double poison in the back, could be a little bit tricky, but we'll see how this plays out. I am going to look to throw a Rock Tomb, I think, and maybe try to hit no bubbles. I think that's the only way of potentially getting some more farm. But it looks like I am going to go for a nice, which is definitely going to be too much here, and knock out the Ariados. Opponent comes in with a Medicham, so we're going to throw the Overheat right here. And we'll have to come in with our Ariados at this point. But with this energy lead, it's a pretty rough spot here, and we have not debuffed the opponent yet, so Psychic will be dealing a lot of damage. I am going to respect it and shield up, and thankfully they did not bait. They swap out into the Slowbro. I'm going to take one Confusion, throw this Lunge, and let's see if the opponent decides to shield. They do decide to shield. I tried to swap out here, but not able to, so it is CMP tie. Going to use our second shield, swap out into the Seaking. I'm going to throw the Icy Wind here and actually undercharge so that I could actually farm down with the Poison Jab. And that should get us to potentially another Icy Wind here before the Medicham can farm us down or throw a move. Able to get to the Icy Wind, which is actually huge for us because this means the incoming Psychic from the Medicham is not going to be enough to take out the Ariados. So all we have to do here at this point is get to the Cross Poison and we will win this game. So Psychic comes through. You can see because of the Icy Wind, we just barely hang on, able to outpace to the Cross Poison, and that's going to be enough to take out the Medicham and take this game. So we are off to a 1-0 start in this set, and we are going to jump into the next battle, which is against R stands for Reezy. Shout out to you, a Twitch streamer and a very solid battler. Definitely check him out on Twitch. We have a Seaking into Medicham. This is a horrible lead to see. Gonna build up to the Icy Wind, but the opponent is throwing first. This has to be a power-up punch here, so we are going to no shield. No threat of a Psychic in that case. Get off this Icy Wind right here, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. I'm expecting the Psychic to come through, but I'm actually not going to shield here. I actually thought this would be another power-up punch, and we are going to no shield, and indeed it is. So we are going to reach an Icy Wind right here, which will get the shield or the knockout. So this Seaking matchup versus Medicham actually worked out very well for us in the end. They are going to come in from Magcargo and get some farm, which is actually pretty bad for us because we don't have a hard counter answer here. Now thankfully they are running Incinerate, and we're able to sneak one in here because if they were running the Rock Throw, we would pretty much be done for at this point. So gonna throw this Rock Tomb here. It looks like our incinerates are actually a little bit desynced at this point. You can see the timing is a little bit off, but we should win CMP each time because we do have a 15 attack stat. They're gonna double shield, which tells me either A, they're very weak to Magcargo in the back, or B, they know we're very weak to Magcargo in the back. So they're gonna try and catch us, move on to Lickitung. I'm gonna bank the Rock Tomb before swapping out because I know that we win CMP tie against the opposing Magcargo, so having that Rock Tomb for the end game is going to be very important here. Going to throw the lunge at this Lickitung and probably look to save my shield for the Magcargo, to be honest, at this point. I just want to get off as much damage as possible against this Lickitung right here. Going to no shield the Body Slam, and hopefully we could reach this cross poison before they're able to swap out. Not sure if this will be enough to KO the Lickitung, however, and they do just barely survive with 1 HP. Swap out into their own Magcargo. We're going to go for the Rock Tomb here, and I actually lagged right there, as you can see, which did not allow me to get the Excellent, which unfortunately could affect this game. So we're going to shield here. All I pretty much have to do here is just throw the Rock Tomb when we get to it and we win. But for some reason, I didn't hit it. Tried to farm down, which is definitely a huge misplay. And had we got the Excellent, of course, we would have farmed down there and had a move ready for the Lickitung. But that lag is going to make this game a lot closer. Thankfully, they do not have the Body Slam ready, and we're able to take that game. Shout out to Reezy for the battle. So we are 2-0 heading into match number 3, and we got Seaking into Talonflame, which is somewhat of a tricky matchup here. The opponent is going to swap out into Medicham though, and we're going to throw the Icy Wind here. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't swap out into Ariados immediately, but at least we're going to get this debuff, which means the Psychic will not KO, so we don't necessarily have to shield now at this point. I am going to allow this to go through, and you can see we do tank that quite well. It's going to be a hard farm down with counter, so I'm going for the lunge right here. It is going to be doing a bit more damage than cross poison, but it is less energy efficient, and we got a little bit of lag. I do think we would reach this cross poison just before the Psychic, probably CMP tie, so we are going to be able to take out the Medicham right here. Don't think this affected too much, and the opponent comes back in with the Talonflame. We are able to reach this cross poison, which will be some nice chip damage. And now at this point, we're actually going to come in with the Magcargo here because the Talonflame's charge moves aren't going to threaten us. So the opponent swaps out into Electrode. I'm going to go for a Rock Tomb here first, and ideally I would like to catch the discharge onto the Seaking, keeping my HP on the Magcargo, but because Incinerate is so slow, it is very difficult to time the swap. I'm going to shield up right here, and I'm going to look to swap out into Seaking and farm them down in the middle of the Volt Switch animation, which we are able to do. Talonflame comes back in. Unless this is a Brave Bird, it's not going to KO. We do resist the Flame Charge, which means we get to the Icy Wind right here. That's likely going to get a shield from the opponent, and we should be able to reach another Icy Wind before they can farm down if they are trying to preserve their energy, which is what they do. Icy Wind here going to double debuff the opponent, and they're just going to let the Talonflame go down here. That game was over, so there was no reason to use the shield. GG. Let's hop into the next battle. So we're going to be leading Seaking into a Crustle, which is actually a very difficult lead for this team, as you could imagine. And we start off with some lag, which makes this lead a whole lot worse. Gonna go for the Icy Wind here to lower the attack on the Crustle. Not expecting a shield from the opponent. And I will probably shield up this Rock Slide right here so that we could potentially reach another move. If they do get to an X Scissor, it will not KO. So we are able to reach this Icy Wind, which is going to debuff the opponents once again. And they're actually going to no shield, so they do reach the X Scissor right here. I'm going to let this go through. It actually should not KO. And we're able to farm down and take the lead matchup in the 1 vs 0 shields. But winning switch, as you could see, is quite important here because they bring in Ariados. We hard counter that with the Magcargo. We have switch advantage. Things are looking pretty good at this point. Opponent is going to throw the lunge. I'm going for the Rock Tomb here. And I would be surprised to see the opponent shield this up, but if they do, they are likely very weak to Magcargo in the back. So they are just trying to lower our attack at this point. Could be another poison type, could also be a Charmer. In this situation, I would prefer the Charmer because we do have Ariados in the back. So lunge comes through, and they're going to swap out into Clefable. So I'm going to throw the Rock Tomb. Not really necessary here, but it is going to help out a little bit. Bring in the Ariados. This game is absolutely over. Cross Poison going to be dealing huge damage to the Clefable. And we get the unnecessary attack boost, 12.5% chance. Thought I could farm down, but they do reach the Meteor Mash. Just need to shield this up, and their Ariados really can't do anything to us. We have a lunge ready to go, and we're going to be able to take this game with the bug on bug. Bang! There it is. Ariados gets taken out. 4-0 to start off this set. Let's hop into match number 5. And we got the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker here in the final battle, Seaking into a Wormadam trash. This is absolutely horrible to see, but they're running bug bites, so I figured, you know what, Ariados might have some play here. It's still a losing matchup, but it's a whole lot better than seeing confusion. So I'm going to throw the drill run, swap out into my Ariados, and look to throw the lunge. They do reach the Iron Head here, which I am going to actually shield up and look to get off this lunge here, but they're probably going to swap out anyways here. So I could have probably built up a bit more energy, but that's okay. They swap out into a Lomomola, which again is pretty bad for this team in general, but Seaking does have a decent matchup there in the lead, so we should be able to come in and maybe farm down. It really depends on what the HP situation is looking like, but we're going to throw a whole bunch of lunges here to make this matchup a lot easier for the Seaking, of course. They're going to be forced to throw the Psychic here. And I think in this range, it's going to be a little bit too difficult for Seaking to farm down. So I'm going to come back in here and probably look to throw the Drill Run just to knock it out. And I tried to overfarm a little bit, and unfortunately, it was pretty poor timing because I allowed them to get to the Psychic. I don't need to shield, but not having this HP is a bit of a bummer. We are able to farm though instead, so that's not too bad. We're at basically 100 energy more or less. The opponent is going to come in with the Wormadam. I'm going to throw the Drill Run immediately here, which I think will be enough to knock out the Wormadam, but they're saving both shields for the Medicham, and unfortunately for us, we have a Magcargo in the back. So I throw the Icy Wind here, I swap out into the Magcargo, and I figure I need to be going for the Rock Tombs here to lower the attack. But what you're going to see is that this opponent has some balls of steel and actually no shields the move, which makes almost zero sense because we're not going to reach 3 moves anyway, so it just makes sense, I think, to shield twice there, no matter what the move is. If we went for Overheat, we actually would have been able to win this game, but I guess a great call from the opponent there. A bit of a crazy one, but it is going to pay off because Seaking isn't going to reach a move as well. It's pretty much dry on energy, but we're not going to be able to farm down even after those debuffs because counter is OP. So GG to the opponents, very well played. Going to end the win streak there at 4, and we finish this set 4-1. Going to be enough to bring us up into the 3300s, climb a little bit more on the leaderboard, but unfortunately that means queue times are going to get a lot worse as well. This was a very fun team to use. I think Seaking is a very interesting pick for this meta. Do I recommend this team? Not necessarily. I do think it has a lot of weaknesses within the current meta, which makes it difficult to run, but we did have success in this small sample size of battles. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.